Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Christine from Hollis Hands Create. Today is Wednesday, October 6th. This is Flosstube number 31. This is my channel or podcast about cross-stitch and wool and sometimes quilting, sometimes crochet, just all kinds of crafty endeavors. If you are new to my channel, you've wandered in, I hope that you'll see something that gives you a little inspiration and you'll want to stick around. If you're a returning subscriber, I want to just say thank you so much for coming back. Your wonderful comments that you leave. It's really a wonderful stitching community, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you so much. Today's kind of an odd day for me to be filming, but I'm actually have the shop on vacation. And later this afternoon, I have a 4:20 flight from here in Kansas City to Providence, Rhode Island. And my husband and I are going to do a New England fall foliage tour for the next week. So I'm very excited about that, but I wanted to pop in and say hey and do some giveaways, talk about some things that have happened in the last couple of weeks, and you know, also just a little bon voyage before I take off. So what else have I been up to? Let's see. Besides my vacation plans, we have the grandbaby still here. Alaska is still here with my daughter, Brittany. And so last weekend, we took the baby to meet her great-grandparents. My father lives at the Lake of the Ozarks, and so we went there and spent the day first, then spent the night, and then went on down to Springfield, Missouri, where my mom lives. And we had booked a 4-generation photo shoot with my mom, and had that done, and just, you know, spent a really lovely time on Sunday afternoon, and then we'd spent the night, had our photo shoot on Monday morning, and Monday afternoon, well, we took my mom to lunch and then back home, and then drove back home, back up to Kansas City. So it was really nice. My cat's gonna try to come in and out. I have the door closed because the baby's sleeping. So Sadie can't stand it when the door is closed in any place. She just wants to be part of everything. So, all right, all right, here we go. There we go. All right, she had to make her appearance. Come on, let me say hi. There she is. Oh, she's a pretty girl. Okay, down you go. Okay, so, all right, sorry about that. So anyway, we had a good visit. Alaska's middle name is, she's named after my mom, so it's Alaska Rose. And it was just really a sweet time. So, and then back up here, and then I was working like crazy because I knew that I was going to be having to close the shop, which I did this past Saturday afternoon, a little earlier than I anticipated, but I always try to make sure that I've left myself enough time to get all current orders out the door before I truly leave. And it was a crazy shopping weekend, evidently. So, because from where we ended on Friday night with outstanding orders until Saturday afternoon, I was kind of keeping an eye on it, and the numbers just went so high that I had to close a little early. Excuse me. Make it a little drink here. Okay. So anyway, so other than that, this last week, not too much. Just, you know, kind of going through maps and figuring out where we want to go. If any of y'all know of any great, you know, cross-stitch shops up in the area, I would love for you to, you know, comment below. I did talk to Pam Schaffner from Just Keep Stitching. Of course, she's from Maine, and she did let me know there was really nothing around that area in Maine, because we'll be starting out in Portland. And then we're going to go over to New Hampshire, And I've mapped out quite a few antique stores. We're going to kind of antique our way from the southern point of New Hampshire all the way to the northern point, and then cross over into Vermont, spend 2 days working our way through Vermont, over into Saratoga Springs, New York, and then back down into Massachusetts, and then wander our way back to Providence. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's just going to be really relaxing, and right now is, you know, just a great time to see the leaves, and maybe pick up some syrup and pick up some cheese, and I don't know, some different things like that. So anyway, so like I said, if you know of a great place that I need to see, or that we could stop by, just, you know, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to check those. Okay, so now she wants back out. Go on. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts. I'm sorry. Okay, so for today's talk, oh, I did want to show one thing that I did get when I was down at my mom's. She had pulled out some boxes and wanted to have us go through them to see if there was anything that we wanted. And in one of the boxes, it was my great-grandmother's stuff, and she was a very prolific crafter. She quilted, she crocheted, she made pillows, she tatted, she did all kinds of things. And we found this. Look at this really old ladybug pincushion. And the velveteen is just almost, you know, worn to shreds on the top. But I was like, oh, look at that. I absolutely love it. Only one of the original dots are even left. On this side, it's just the glue spots. But this was in my great-grandmother's. There's a box of my great-grandmother's things that had been kept by my grandmother. And then when my grandmother passed, that box went to my mom. And she hadn't even really opened it. So it was a great surprise to open this. So anyway, I wanted to share that. Okay. So what else have I been doing stitching-wise? Let's talk stitching. So I have been off of Flosstube for a little while. We've just been so busy, and in the evenings when I typically would stitch and watch, I've been playing with the baby. So I did fire up my laptop or my iPad when I was down here working the last couple of days, and I just wanted to give a quick couple of shout outs. Probably not new Flosstubers. I think Chris Cross Stitch is fairly new, but he has very quickly gotten a pretty large following already. Really enjoyed watching his Flosstubes. All right, Sadie, come on. All right. She can't make up her mind where she wants to be. So if you want to, go on over and give him a watch. It's Chris X Stitch. So Chris Cross Stitch. And then I had subscribed to Stacy 911 Stitcher, I guess a long time ago, but I never hit the bell. And, you know, I kept seeing, you know, people talking about Stacy, and I thought, you know, why have I never seen it? So I actually went and looked, and I guess I hadn't hit the bell. And 9 times out of 10, I guess when I pull up to watch, I'm seeing the ones that are the notification videos first. So it really is, you know, a good example of, if you really want to watch someone, why you hit the bell to subscribe so that you know when they have a new podcast that's downloaded. So I went back in and watched several of hers, and boy, I can see why everybody, you know, just loves her, because it was a very informative and very good Flosstube. So if you're one of the few who had not gone over to watch Stacy, definitely do. And it's 911 Stitcher, and it's spelled out 911 Stitcher. So I've been kind of doing that. And then I've just moved my stitching to a little bit more late night after the baby goes to bed. And I did get a couple of finishes since I talked with you last. I did show everyone my retreat project and where I was in working on it last time. And that was my retreat project that was from Alma, Delicious Autumn, this little ditty bag. And I did actually finish it. So there's my finish. And I haven't ironed, and I apologize. I decided I better do this Flosstube before I left, because then it would be another week, and then who knows how long after that. So I did want to show, and so I didn't take the time to iron. I just kind of grabbed things. So there's that. So that needs to get into the to be FFO pile. So I finished that up by the end of September, and grabbed, I had a couple of days left, so I grabbed, went to my whip pile for Halloween and pulled out Night Watch 1626 by Scattered Seed Samplers. And I finished this one. Now, I did do this a little bit different. If you'll notice on the pattern, there are 2 cats here, and I left the cats off. I wanted it more, just more like this, rectangular, and I felt like if I put the 2 cats in here, it was gonna make this kind of wonky and wider at the bottom. And so then I did kind of move the moon over just a tad bit, but I really love this pumpkin vine. So that's Scattered Seed Samplers, Night Watch 1626. So when I get home, one of the things I want to do is definitely some FFOing. And potentially I'll have another one for this time of year to add to that pile if I do well. This past Saturday, we had Stitch Club at Quilter Station. Okay, and so I had pulled out my Boo to You after I finished Night Watch, which is Boo to You. I'm sure everyone has seen this one, very popular, from Brenda Gervais with Fine Needle and Thread. Okay, Sadie, she just wants to be right in the middle of everything, and especially now I can hear the baby's awake, so she's a little more nervous about things. She's not sure just what to know about this baby being here, and so the baby wants to immediately get a hold of her, and she runs, and so it's been an interesting process. Okay, down you go again. Okay, so I took this to Stitch Club, and last year all I had stitched was the head. So I was looking at the pattern, and as you can see, there's a lot of this light khaki for the shirt, the arms. So I thought, all right, I'm going to set this up for airplane stitching. My first flight is from Kansas City to Philadelphia, and that's about a little over 3 hours. And then I fly from there up to Providence, but that's a quick hop. So I thought, you know, I'll get all this little foo-foo stuff going, and then I can do all that fill-in while I'm on the airplane. So that's Boo to You. So that's kind of my plan for that one. So I'm hoping to maybe have that one finished by the time I get back, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So it's October. October means I get another year older, another year wiser, right? And my very good friend, Becky, Socks for Mom, she and I stitch a project together for our birthdays, because she also gets a year wiser this year. She says she's a red hat lady now. So she's just a couple of years older than me, but that's okay. So we're October birthday sisters. And you know, I've had a couple other people message. Brenda Holzman, her birthday is on the 14th. Happy birthday, Brenda. And there's a couple others as well. So we decided this year's project, sorry for that glare, there you go, is Manor at Peacock Hill. Sadie, holy mackerel. So on the first, I had already had this kitted up and ready to go. Here are my threads that go with this. Let me pull the sheet. I'm sorry, this is a little disjointed. That's what happens when you pull things together just kind of quickly. But here are the threads, and they really are pretty. Very beautiful colors, which, you know, we all come to expect from Brenda. Sadie, go on. Go. This time she's not going to get back in. Okay, I'm so sorry. All right, so there are my threads and my beautiful thread keep from the lovely and talented Becky, Socks for Mom. And I have a little surprise about that a little bit later. And I'll show you my start. This was just 2 days, the first and the second. And I got that tail done. I really love that. Now I'm stitching this. Get my little card out. On 40 count Lakeside linen purled barley. So I did have make a little bit of a change, and that is I happen to have this particular bluey green limited edition skein from Gentle Arts that I have no idea what the name of it was. I believe I picked it up at Market. They usually have a basket with just some limited edition colors that they'll throw in there, and I think that's where I picked it up. The pattern calls for Otter Creek, I believe. But my Otter Creek was really green. And as you know, and as you can kind of see, this is not a green peacock. So I pulled out this blue and just really was very happy with how that turned out. With that tail, you can kind of see. So this is going with me on my trip as well. And really thoroughly enjoyed my start on that particular stitch because the thread colors are just really in my palette. I really enjoyed it. And then my October plans, in addition to having our birthday start, was to start Ghoultide Welcome. This is one that, you know, everybody has seen, I'm sure. A Ghoultide Welcome. I really love this one, and I really love Liberty's Welcome, the series from Paulette from Plum Street Samplers. But anyway, so I really wanted to start this. And so I stitched on the second, I stitched on Peacock in the morning, and in the evening, late evening, I pulled out Ghoultide Welcome and I started it. And there is my start. And I'm sorry if this lighting is not very good today. It's really, really overcast and drab out today. But here's my start. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Bee's Knees, which is a Seraphim fabric. And I'm using the called for NPI silks. So really, really happy with that progress. That was the evening of the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th progress. So that's where I stand with that. So for this month, for stitching, those are going to be the 3 that I work on. And Becky, of course, is going to stitch Manor at Peacock Hill with me. She may actually jump in and stitch a couple other things with me as well, but I'll let you tell her about that on her Flosstube. So, and then at retreat at Coulter Station, Rita Briner, who owns Coulter Station, had just put up and displayed the beautiful autumn quilt that is the Raven. And it is stunning to see it up on the wall. And this is by Blackbird Designs. It's an autumn quilt. And so my friend Kay and Becky and Roberta Lyle all went right down that rabbit hole. And we bought the kit. Here's the whole kit. It's all bundled up nicely. That cat is driving me up the wall. Sadie. I don't know how exactly she got that door open, but she did. We bought this kit, And each block is in here individually. I'll go ahead and actually open this up and show you what a great job that she did, you know, putting this all together. And Rita is the one who actually did the quilt that's up on the wall, but she made each one of the blocks like a little mini kit, which is really nice. So you can just go to this, pull out block one, you know, there's your block one, and go to town. So we had all of the copies done. This is ready to go. So when I get back, I will be jumping into working on block number 1 from the Raven. And if I'm really ambitious and I finish block 1, which is not a huge block, I think I'm going to start this little guy, which is around the year, October. And I had bought this stand, and so she is insistent that she wants up here. And so I have this one, and it's not real big. So this also would not be a very difficult piece to finish. But look at those colors. I love them. So we'll see how ambitious I get with the wool. Wool applique is a really nice break from stitching at times because, you know, sometimes when you're really stitching, it can get a little intense, especially if it's a stitch-heavy project, or maybe you're doing it on a really small count, and occasionally you need a little break, but you don't want to actually just switch to another whip. So wool applique is something that's super easy to do. If you never have tried it, I would recommend that you go to Carol Saltbox Stitcher, and she did a wonderful tutorial, I want to say maybe 2 months ago. So a couple of videos back, and watch her tutorial on wool applique. She did just a really good job. I've been doing some applique for quite some time, but even, you know, you pick up little tips and tricks and things like that that really will help you. So take a gander over to Carol's channel and see, you know, what she does with her quilt applique if you're interested. Okay. Just want to kind of, I did make a quick list before I got started, just because I knew this was going to be probably a little unorganized. So those are my plans. Okay, that's October plans. Now, by the time I get back, I should have, because I think Vicki from Needlework Press had emailed me that she was going to be shipping my Book of Days calendars. Everyone is probably familiar with Book of Days. Here's my 2021 Book of Days, which Vicki also just released this particular sampler. That's actually the one featured here. So the Book of Days is, you know, that's definitely the Stitcher's Bible. I'm sure if you've watched Brenda and Laura, you see they add stickers. I don't add stickers, but I could add stickers. But I definitely use it. That's how I know what I'm doing and how I kind of keep track of how many days, how many hours, things like that I might put in on something. So by the time I get back, I should have those ready to pop open. And then I will be grabbing mine. I've got my bag all ready. I'll show you. Ooh, this is my cross-stitch stash bag that is loaded full of projects. Now, this does not mean I'm doing all of these projects in 2022, but as I run across a project or have a whip that I didn't get finished this year in its rotation, but I definitely want to get it finished for next year, I popped it into this bag. Some sals, some different things that are going to be starting. Anything that I'm just like, you know what, I really want to move this forward, I pop into that bag. So as I get my book and I start going through, I'll share with you my plans as, you know, as close as they're going to be. Obviously, there's always, you know, room for change. I reserve that right to make a change. But I'll share that with you. in the next floss tube or two. Let's see, what did I get? The only little stash enhancement that I really have gotten this month, though I will say I did just make a purchase or two last night, but is I got my October skinny pillow from Michelle at Under the Woolen Willow. I think I probably show something from her just about every floss tube. But there's Michelle, Under the Woolen Willow on Etsy. And here's my October pillow. So there's another reason why I needed to film today, because this needs to get into my decor, and it was down here waiting to be shown. Anyway, thank you again, Michelle, for such wonderful things. She really, all things that she does are very inspirational to me. Okay. Zipping right along here. This week is thread conditioners and or wax. I don't know if everybody uses wax or a thread conditioner, but you know, now and again you get an ornery thread that there are just some threads that for some reason they're gonna knot almost every time, and sometimes I get frustrated. I'll actually pull that thread out and get rid of it, start with a new thread, but a lot of the time I will pull out some thread conditioner. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about something like this. This is from Bowen, and this is a little, you kind of see it's like a wax disc inside of an acrylic holder. Now, this particular wax is what I use personally, and I tell you why. It's because this holder has these little grooves, and so you can just put your thread and pull it through that groove, and it puts a little bit of wax on your thread, making it easier to stitch with. Some people really love Beeswax Bliss. This is by Noteworthy Needle. And you gently pull a thread between the thumb and wax 2 times, and then pull the thread between the thumb and finger to smooth. So it reduces your tangles. It's 100% beeswax, handmade in small batches, put in these little tins. So a lot of people will use that. It's very popular as well. And then making wax has become really another art form. So I'll just show you some of kind of my favorites. Lady Dot Lois from Lady Dot Creates. I showed this when I came back from my Midwest cross-stitch retreat. She made this starfish to go in our retreat boxes for Paulette, because we had a summer-themed project, Live on Little. And so she made this starfish, and it's so detailed. It's really cool. A couple of these things, honestly, don't even know exactly where I got, but this was in another, I think, retreat or giveaway box or something that I had. It's just a little heart, a little beeswax heart. A couple of years ago, I had gone to a retreat, and I'm pretty sure this is where I got it. I could be wrong. It could have come in my Coloring Cotton Halloween box from 2 years ago as well. I got 2 different Halloween themed things going about the same time, but anyway, this is a hand poured beeswax thread conditioner that's just in the shape of a pumpkin. And again, you know, in a cute little tin, so you can just pull it out and run your threads along the tops of the grooves or in the front grooves, however you want to do it. So it's a cute little tin. Now Lois from Lady Dot also has these, it's called Berry Sweet Embellishments. Look at that. Aren't those adorable little wax berries? I probably never use these with the thread. They would just be a decorative kind of thing. And then Taylor Nash, Stacy Nash's daughter, a few years ago, started doing wax because, you know, they're beekeepers, started doing wax as a way to raise money because she wanted to buy a horse. So I feature several of her wax designs in my shop, and this is one that's, you know, really popular. It's of course, a thimble. Berries are always really popular. Oh, Sadie, you guys are really watching the fight between me and my cat today. And so here's a berry, red berry. And she does pumpkins and cats and birds' nests and all different kinds of designs. But the one that I'm going to give away to you today is in honor of October, is the black cat. So if you're interested in this one, just use the word black cat, or the phrase black cat. Okay, and someone will be drawn in next video, and I'll give that away. But in addition to that, because it is that time of year, I happen to have the Spooked Mystery Sampler Charts from Lizzie and Kate, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And there's what they all looked like together. And these came out, a few years ago. And I've just never done anything with them. So as I was going through, I thought, you know what? Somebody else will stitch these, and they'll love it. It's not that I wouldn't like the design. I just, for some reason, I don't know, fell out of love with it a little bit. So I'm going to give that away. And if you're interested in those, use the word spooked. And I will write that down so that I know what word I will be searching for. Spooked and black cat. Okay. Spooked and black cat. So, if you've never used wax, you could use wax. Also, there's another one called Thread Heaven, which came in little blue discs, like a little blue cube. And I have one somewhere. I searched high and low for a little while, and I was like, okay, it's probably in a project bag somewhere. I have no idea exactly where it is. I don't think I've seen it since we moved, but not 100% of everything is unpacked. So from my stuff. So because of this room, which would be normally my craft room, is actually my work room. So there you go. But if some of you out there have also seen the Thread Heaven, that's another one that was really popular for a long time. And then everybody started getting into the 100% beeswax molded thread conditioners, which are really cool. I really like them. I tend to end up using them more as decor than I do, and I just used my bow and round disc. But anyway, so hopefully you saw something that you haven't considered before, or that you might really like. I have all different kinds in the shop. If you want to take a look, you can see some different designs. But if you're really interested and you would like the black cat, just put that in. And that's what I'll search for. Okay, so what do we got next? Let's do the giveaway winners. I showed you what I had talked about, and I'll announce those. Before I do that, I had a very nice thank you card that came from Nancy Suma, who was the winner of one of last video's giveaways, and she sent me this really lovely thank you card and some DMC. This is actually the color it's the variegated, but it's beautiful autumn. Can you see that beautiful autumn colors? Isn't that pretty? So once I showed this, I wanted to pull it, and then I'm going to put it with my other projects, because I'm sure that I think I can probably work this in, especially on Booty U. I might be able to work that in. But thank you so much, Nancy. Not necessary whenever you know, I'm giving away something, but always very appreciated. And I love this community. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's do the giveaways. First up, we have the thread winder from R&R Woodworks, Kentucky. And it goes to Janice Harrell. Janice Harrell, Harrell. We had 86 comments using the word winder, and Janice was the winner. Congratulations, Janice. If you will email me with your mailing address, as soon as I get back from vacation, I'll get these out. The next were the drops, the thread drops. We had 52 comments for these. And the winner of these was Kim Heyman. Kim Heyman. It's Hehman. Congratulations, Kim. And again, if you will message me with your mailing address, we'll get those out to you. The next thing I'll show you, of course, with mine already on here, was a thread ring made by Becky from Socks for Mom. We had 73 comments mentioning the word rings, and the winner there was Josie Conner. Josie Conner, C-O-N-N-E-R. Congratulations, Josie. Please email me with your information and we'll get that out to you. Then we have the pumpkin, primitive white pumpkin thread keep. And there were 72 comments mentioning the word keep. And the winner of this one is Renee Riley. Renee Riley. Congratulations. Renee, please email me and with your mailing address, and I will get that right out to you. And the last thing to give away was Jack. And that was the word that we were searching for, Jack. With 67 comments, and the winner is Marilyn Dowsett. D-O-W-S-E-T-T, Marilyn. Congratulations, you have won Smiling Back Jack. Email me with your address and I'll get that right out to you as soon as I return from vacation. So thank you so much, and I super appreciate it. If some of you actually get back to me fairly quickly, I might be able to have my son mail a couple of these things out before I return. So anyway, thank you so much for everybody who participated. I've had some really good comments and some feedback on the Just Saying section of the videos. I still have quite a few things to feature, so stay tuned for, more videos coming up with things that, might be of interest to you, something you've never seen before, but we know that as soon as you see it, you're going to think that you need it. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, what are we giving away? If you'll remember, use the word spooked or black cat. Please be over 18. Don't use the word freebie, giveaway, something like that. We want to make sure these go to stitchers who really want to use them, or crafters, in the case of the wax, who really want to use them, and not other people who are just looking for freebies. And I think, I'm looking at my list, I think as far as stitching, that's about it. I did have just a quick little shop update. As you know, I've mentioned the shop is closed right now while I head out for some fall foliage touring. And I will be back midweek next week. I have ordered quite a few things to come in so that I can get those into the shop. So when I open up, I'll have some really cool fresh things to feature, and hopefully the Book of Days will be in as well. And but I did really quickly just go through a couple of stitch-alongs that if you're familiar with, or you're wondering about, where to get those items. They've also, a couple other things that just have been super popular. I'll just show these real quick. This one is Moonlight Sampler, and this is a stitch along with Stacy 911 Stitcher. And I just want to show you this really. This is from the Blue Flower Moonlight Sampler, and it is really, really cool. The individual details. Look at that butterfly and this owl. Can you see this owl? It is just really, really cool. So creative, but just this is really neat. Really neat. So that is in the shop, and that is a stitch along. That's just started going on. Another one, I said by Emily from Eclectic Possessions, is this Haunted House Sampler. And if you want more information on each of these, you can go to 911 Stitchers, Flosstube, as well as Eclectic Possessions, Emily C. Her just her last video that she just posted, and she gives more information as well about the Haunted House Sampler. I believe both of them are kind of no rules sampler stitch-alongs. So, but this one was really, really popular as well. We had, of course, Plum Street Samplers. Everybody was all agog over the Gather In, which was a new chart. Funny thing about what happened with mine, I had my order placed, quite a few people waiting on it, and Paulette mailed it on the 29th of August. Literally real quick, right after it was announced she'd be shipping. And she's just mailing from Omaha. So typically I would get her things in like 2 days. And I'm waiting, and I get to, like the 5th or 6th of September, and I finally emailed her and said, hey, Paulette, I, know you're in the process of moving, because she just move, and wanted to check on tracking information. And she emailed back and was like, oh my gosh, I mailed that like, 8-9 days ago. And it did come in one day down to the Kansas City Mail Distribution Center. And so I'm watching, and I'm like, what is going on with this? Well, then about 2 weeks after, I get a certified letter from the USPS saying that my package, they were holding a package for me, and it was non-mailable. And I'm like, non-mailable? Oh my gosh, they must have destroyed it. There's no telling what these charts look like. So I called, got the appointment to go down. I go down, ring the bell. The lady comes. First thing she does is hands me a pair of disposable gloves. And I'm like, okay, disposable gloves. And she's got this huge mail bin that she's pushing around. The reason she has this big mail bin is, as I very quickly discovered, when she lifts up my package, which is wrapped in this huge thing of plastic, everything in this big mail bin, and I guess about a third of everything that was on the back of this truck coming from Omaha was covered in honey. Yes, honey. Bees make honey. Honey everywhere. Evidently, there was a big barrel of honey that was in this shipment, and I don't know what happened. The top came off, side burst, who knows, but honey went all over everything. And so the box that mine was packed in held up pretty darn well, but it was saturated in honey. So I put the gloves on, we cut open, because the plastic that she'd wrapped it, everything, of course, was then stuck to the box. So we kind of cut everything open very carefully, and I pulled out the charts, and I literally only had 2 charts that had any droplets of honey on them. That box held up remarkably well. Who knows? Maybe, it got that honey, it was so sticky and just froze in place. But anyway, so that was a little frustrating, though, to be waiting for almost 3 weeks, for this. But worth the wait. Worth the wait. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this. The Gather In. Now, this is pretty stitch intensive. 196 by 149, as you can see. I mean, that whole house is going to be a booger to stitch. But also with this release was she re-released something that was originally done in 2017. So if you're looking for just a quick little stitch to throw into a dough bowl, maybe pull out or get this Betsy's Autumn Bird and Acorn. The bird's only 54 by 54, and the acorn, if you can see this, that's the acorn, is 19 by 19. Isn't that adorable? So take a look at those, and can be some quick autumn stitching for you. Another one that's been super popular, Kathy Barrick, Autumn Pin Drum. Adorable. Absolutely love this. I'm on my 3rd order of these. They really have gone out the door. Love, love, love this. And last but not least, and then I'll let you go, Alma from Blackbird Designs is starting to re-release. This was one that she re-released, Violet's Blue. Very popular design. So this just came out re-released. Maria Selby Humphrey. And there's those 3 projects in this particular book. Maria Selby Humphrey. And last was the Honeysuckle Manor book. And I believe there are 9 projects in this book. But just absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. Look at that on the back. Gorgeous. So be watching. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not a little bit of what Alma does from now till market, is probably do some re-releasing. So anyway, that's it, guys. About 45 minutes. Let me wrap this up. Hopefully I can get it uploaded before I have to head for the airport. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sticking with me, watching the show, so to speak. And I hope everyone is well. I'm so looking forward to this trip and just enjoying autumn. This is my favorite time of the year. My husband's birthday is tomorrow, and then mine is a couple days after. And so we try to always do something special since our birthdays are right together for 2 days. I get to say he's older than me because he's actually only 2 days older than me. And so we're looking forward to it. Hope to see everybody back soon. I hope to film probably in a couple of weeks, maybe 3. We'll see how it goes when I return. And take care. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye-bye.